Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday again. I feel like I'm always saying that. It's Thursday. It's so nice to have you here. And today we're doing something a little bit different. Um, the thing that I just want to start with my little preamble because I wrote it. Okay. So I know that you all know how to deliver results, but really to sell your magic sauce, you need a marketing strategy that makes an impact. But sometimes marketing feels more like a guessing game than an actual strategy. So today, my friend Dusty, I always get the mirror effect here. My friend Dusti Arab, who's a marketing strategist and fractional CMO. And if you don't know what CMO means, it means Chief Marketing Officer. She and I are going to talk about how to create a marketing strategy that will expand your opportunities and grow your business. So as usual, as I say every Thursday, if you're listening live, let me know by raising your hand and saying hi. If you're listening to the replay, let me know that too. You can also ask questions, and Dusty and I will be checking and returning to answer them. So I just am going to say this. So once again, it is not streaming to my regular profile. Hold on. Yeah, there we are. It says I'm live again. So hi, if you guys missed that, because we had a little technological break there. If you're listening live, say hi. You know we like to have conversations. And if you're listening to the replay and you have questions, either for Dusty or me, write those down and we'll get back to you. If you want the notes, so people always say, like, what are the notes? So the notes are really the entire conversation distilled into a readable form that makes sense. So if you want those, just let me know by writing notes into the comments, and I will send them to you as soon as they're ready. It usually takes my team about a week and a half to get them to you. Okay, enough of all that. Hi, Dusty.
Hi, Dana.
Thanks for coming and playing with me this morning. I'm going to start with a really big question, okay? So, can we start by defining marketing? So, I know so many people who get marketing and sales mixed up. So, tell me what you think marketing is, and then I'll tell you what I think it is.
Totally. Yes. And a lot of people hiring marketers also seem to mistake marketing for sales. And there is nothing more frustrating for a marketer than that. Because while what I do is tied to sales and tied to your bottom line, I'm not actually the person in charge of that particular thing. Well, depending on the engagement. So marketing for me is all of the touch points that get us to the sales conversation. So it's the way that it looks, it's the way that it feels, it's the way that it sounds. It is very, very broad, but it is it's the fun part for me. It's the storytelling, but it's also, analytics and making sure that we're measuring the efforts of the creative things that we're working on. So it's a big, broad topic. So you get a big, broad answer.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was looking for. And actually, touching on so many really important things like measuring, right? People don't understand how important measuring is. When I think about marketing as opposed to sales, I really think about marketing as getting your potential clients, your ideal clients, to self-identify as your client. So whatever it takes for them to see that you have the solution to their problem and raising their hands, right? Like identifying themselves, and then you can go to having leading them to a sales conversation. But at its heart, marketing is really about speaking to people in a way that they identify themselves to themselves.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what do you see as the biggest mistake that business owners make when they try to market their business?
Spray and pray. No question. Spray and pray. Trying to do lots of different things all at the same time and just hoping to God that something happened the right way. The one that I hear the most often, particularly from online business owners, but not always, is, well, I tried social media, but it just doesn't work for me. And what they mean is they posted one thing one time and they only got a response from their cousin. And I'm like, boo fucking who? That's not how it works. Like, if it's not coordinated, if there's not a strategy behind it, of course you're not going to get a response that first time. It takes time. And especially as like someone who is primarily a content marketer versus someone who does a lot of paid ad work, making those different connection points like that is critical. And building relationships takes time. Like if I am anything, I am a storyteller and a connector. And it's my job to help facilitate those things.
Yeah, I think also it takes more than just time, right? It takes actually doing the pre-work. Like you actually have to know who you're trying to reach. You have to know like where they're going to read things, where they're going to, what they're thinking about, what they want. So many people just I love that spray and pray. I love that sentence. But they do that without doing any of the work before you start posting too, right? Mm-hmm. I think sometimes there's no thought because people don't know what to think about. They don't know the places to consider before they start trying to reach people. Right?
Yeah, that's a really great point. Like, I mean, it's really common advice to be, go define your customer avatar and do these like, thought exercises. And there is a lot of value in having a good understanding of your customer avatar. But especially business owners who are earlier stage, there just isn't that level of understanding there. So you're really, in order to figure out, where your people are actually hanging out, which takes some trial and error, like it takes trial and error, which is not the same as spray and pray. Mm-hmm. An experiment is organized and has a hypothesis. Spray and pray does not. And that is like definitively like those are kind of how we separate those things out. But even figuring out where your people are, where they want to have those conversations, it can get a little sticky for folks.
It can. And I know that you and I tend to work with people who are a little farther along in the mm-hmm. process, they're mostly successful. But then when you talk, even in that stage, figuring out who your client avatar is not a one-time dealio, right? Like you don't figure it out and then it forever. You always have to go back and refine and hone in on specifics and get clearer and clearer about who they are. And so often people at that point just want to be like, I just want to do it. I just want to do it.
I don't want to niche down.
I hate that word, that whole sentence. I don't want to niche down, right? But it's always better to be a bigger fish in a smaller pond. And it's always because it's self-identification, because at the end, marketing is self-identification. Having people to the point where they can raise their hands requires knowing who they are mm-hmm. and speaking directly to them. That's one of the things that I love about, I actually like this part about marketing, and I actually like marketing, is having a conversation with one person. Like really talking to the one person. I am once again in the process of updating my website after last time was 2016. And I keep making sure they know I just want to talk to one person at a time, because that's the person who's reading it. And they will think to themselves, oh yeah, she's talking to me. Sorry about the noise. It's trash day and it's Thursday. It happens every Thursday.
I can't hear anything. So
I
think it's fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, so aside from what I just said, what do you think, how do you think marketing changes for business from when they are first starting out to when they are, I always call it in the momentum phase or in the growth phase? Like, what do you think changes?
Oh, I mean, I think there are kind of two separate things that happened. One of them is that as you get better and better at delivering on your service, you are going to be able to get more clear on exactly who you're talking to, because you'll have had more of your best fit clients. So you'll have a better idea of exactly who you want to work with. And, those little sneaky red flags of maybe the people who are not so great for you to work with, which is great data. And again, we only get this data by doing, it's not guesswork. And I think the other thing that happens, and this happened for me very recently, is that the scope of your business evolves. Therefore, the people who you're talking to it's probably like you're talking to some of the same people, but it's like a really specific subset of those people. And like, and those are the people ready to self-identify. Those are the people who are going to be your best fit clients every time. And like, and honestly, that's really where business owners get to play. Like, that's when it's way more fun because you're only doing the shit that you like.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking too, while you were talking, that there are actually so many people who, when they start up, there are enough people, not so many people, enough people that hit it by mistake, like hit the right thing by mistake because they've thrown spaghetti at the wall and something worked, but they don't know why it worked. They don't know how it worked, right? And so then they get to this place where they're making money and their business is working and they need to grow, but they don't know what it took to get them where they got to. And so they don't have a lot of facility around experimenting or strategy or honing in on one particular variable or any of that. So that's always really interesting to see, is like people are successful and have no idea how that happened.
Yeah. And for anybody listening, you wouldn't believe how common that is. Like, and I would say up to the $1, $2, $3 million point, even like people are still like, business owners are still nervous that like it's going to stop working, or that it's going to run out, or that it's been luck as part of this whole thing. And that is just an incredibly common belief. And like, and generally speaking, it's not actually rooted in fact, thank God. Because like with a lot of those things, like even, you know, I think about when I got started, like, oh God, we're looking at like 11 years now I've been in business. And when I got started, it was like, that's exactly how it felt. I was just kind of following whatever the next natural kind of thing felt like to do. So after being online and blogging for 6 months, I started copywriting, literally because someone told me to. Like, that is why I became a copywriter, because someone who I respected and thought knew more stuff than me told me to do it because I was a good writer. You know, I have mixed feelings about that now, but overall, she was right. I was a good writer. That was a way to make money as a writer. And like, as a result of that, and, you know, just like what, you know, what being in business means and what marketing yourself and being visible all the time means, you know, it is a lot of personal growth. And I actually really like your approach to business and marketing, Dana, for this reason, because you're willing to go there with people, because it brings out all your shit. Like, business brings out all of your stuff. I think more effectively than most things do.
I actually really believe that business owners, but unconsciously, they are people that are committed to personal growth just in who they are. And they unconsciously choose owning a business because it gives them a pathway to personal growth. Like, business is actually nothing but a personal growth pathway. And your business can't grow. I mean, this is kind of in the getting into the stuff that's not as tangible as marketing, right? But your business can't grow any bigger than you're able to hold a container for. And right, like, if you can't hold this bigger container, then your business doesn't go there. And the material that your container is made of is your ability to know yourself. Honestly, I know that sounds so hokey, but it's so true.
It's not hokey. It's definitely fact. Because like, and again, like, as you get to that multiple six-figure point, that is also the point. It's like, it is a major pivotal personal growth period, because you have to make a decision. Am I going to run a lifestyle business where it's just me and I'm figuring out how to scale profits? Or am I going to scale a company and learn how to become a CEO and step into leadership, which is a very different skill set and requires you to do so much more personal growth. And I don't blame people for not wanting to choose it, because it is brutal. And, you know, you're just going to continue to, you know, God, what is that? New level, new devil. New level, new devil. That is like, it's one of those things that I used to roll my eyes at. Now I'm like, yeah,
100%. Right. It's funny because as you talk about that, I so recognize myself. Right. I am a one-person business, as most of you know, right? I have a team, but none of them are my employees, and they come and go and whatever. And I've been in conversation with Dusty a number of times about being at that point where it's time to, it's possible to make that decision to scale, to build a company rather than just be me. And every single time I say no. Like I'm more closer to yes now than I've ever been before. But, I'm, as most of you know, like I'm 62. I'm thinking about we are moving to Portugal in a couple of years. And do I really want to take all that on? Here's what's fascinating. Whether I do or whether I don't, what I'm really good at is I can help other people traverse that shift. I don't have to have done it myself to understand what it takes, because it's personal growth. And that I know all about. That I really get, right?
Well, and I think, like, to that point, like, as you were saying that, like, this is a conversation that you've wrestled with time and time again. And I think you're absolutely making the right call for you. Like, I hope at 62 that I'm not running a company. I don't want to run a company when I'm doing that, especially when I'm looking to move to another country. Like, pick your battles. But, I don't think it's fair necessarily to say that you haven't done that. It's more that, like, every time you've come to that active conversation, you've been able to choose this for you, because that is what's truest for you and your business.
Yeah, 100%. And this inflection point that it always seems to me like it's a bottleneck, right? This is where marketing changes. Like these are the inflection points where your business is about to shift or do the thing that Dusty was saying, which is it kind of evolves into a different version of itself. It has to, because that's the same in personal growth. You're evolving into a different version of yourself as well. So it's concurrent. But then what has to happen is your marketing has to shift with the shift of what you're doing. And sometimes the very first thing that happens is not understanding how your business has shifted enough to even know how the marketing has to change.
Yeah, and that is usually the best point at which to bring in some outside help. Because like it's so easy for business owners to stagnate in that space, or to be like, well, all of my friends are hiring Facebook ads agencies, so I should probably just try that. And then they piss away 10 grand on ads a month for 6 months, and it didn't work because there was no real strategy behind it. Like, there's definitely a reason that, like, paid ads always come last for me. Like, unless you are over 5 million a year consistently, like, I don't want to talk about like paid ads as a core strategy. Maybe to supplement something, maybe to run an experiment, but not as a core strategy.
100%. I'm with you. I talk more people out of doing Facebook ads all the time. It's like, don't even go there. It's not worth it. You're not ready.
Yeah, especially not after the iOS update last year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally. So before we get to I have a really juicy question. I really want to ask, most people everybody who's watching us is online, right? When we talk about marketing nowadays, most people are thinking online marketing for online businesses. Oh, and people are saying hi. So hi, Jana from Rome. Hi. And Lisa, who's my client, what'd she say? Oh, there's so much in this chat notes, because I promise. And Janet thinks we're on fire. She's my social marketing manager. She's the bomb. So Janet, if you're still there, feel free to add to the conversation. But so most people these days, when they think of marketing, think about online marketing and online business. So how do you think marketing is different for either brick and mortar business, but even more than that, their businesses like I call them kind of invisible businesses. They are services that are not online. They're in the community. They're with real people. They're mostly my clients, right? They're not what we traditionally call as online businesses. What do you think about marketing? What's the differences in marketing for online business versus these other, like, I'm going to say in real life, but that doesn't mean that online businesses aren't real life.
I feel what you mean for sure. It is really interesting because so I've done marketing strategy at the highest levels for both brick and mortars and for online businesses. So like having done both and like helping like manage retail chains and like all of these different things, I would say fundamentally that the principles are the same. However, the execution looks very, very different because of a handful of things. I think that online business owners tend to get swept up in guru nonsense and they follow the shiniest, loudest, broiest. Like there's just a lot of noise and garbage out there. And it's very easy to get taken in by someone's phenomenal branding and excellent photos. And they have all the markers of success. Did you know you can rent a jet? Like that's a thing. I just recently
to like stand in front of and say what an amazing life you have, or be inside and be all luxurious and stuff.
Or filming your commercial in like fucking ritzy ass Airbnb. Yeah, no, thank you. In real life, business owners don't do that because they don't have to. Because first of all, most of them already have like actual established businesses that they run like actual business people. Like it's not a front. It's not trying to prove something. It's not trying to look shinier than the person next to you. And like, and that's the shit that I find exhausting in the online marketing space. And like, and I don't do that with my clients. Like I refuse. I am not your girl if that is what you want to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with excellent branding. I am a huge proponent of it. However, it cannot be all there is. And within real life businesses, a lot of times you have to work less hard to educate your audience on what the service is. So I think of like accounting and legal firms. I love doing marketing for accounting and legal firms because it's so easy, because people already need those things. Like, so because there's already an obvious need, there's usually a very, very clear client avatar for us to speak to, which means we can go into new markets and find new people for them to talk to, given what they've already done so far. So I would say that it's more about the business owners themselves and less about the industries.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I also think there is more of a focus on being part of the community when you are a business that's not an online business, like knowing your neighbors, knowing your really what we would call competition. I have a really hard time with the idea of competition. I don't actually believe there is any, or in the way that is most likely talked about. But being out in the world, meeting people for real, right? And going out and looking for ways to meet your potential clients for real. And so in that way, it's the same idea, but playing on a different playground. Very much so.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I would say that's true. Like when I owned a physical coffee shop, I was definitely very invested in like the local downtown community because those were my clientele. Like those are the people who would be in there every day and would hang up posters if we were having some kind of an event. We were very involved with the city. The mayor would come and have meetings once a week in the shop. And part of that was like they're showing that they wanted to support small businesses in the community. But also we got to help facilitate some of that. And as a coffee shop, like it's definitely like a really unique way to be able to serve the community in that way. But absolutely. I think that there is a lot less entitlement also with those in real life businesses.
Really interesting thought. It's a thought I really like. Like that's so true.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's one of the more like complicated, like underlying issues that the online space is dealing with right now. Because like, I mean, capitalism has a whole set of issues that are far beyond the scope of this conversation. Obviously, as a marketer, that is something I have to wrestle with daily. But there is a lot of entitlement, I feel, in the online space that like, why don't people just get it? Why aren't they buying? I'm barely showing up, but why aren't people purchasing? Like
they should know, right? They should know. Yeah, I shouldn't have to work so hard. Okay, so that kind of leads to the juice that everybody, at least I want to know. I'm sure that other people want to know. What has been working for your clients right now in terms of marketing? And what's not working? Is there anything that's not working and that has worked before? But mostly what's been working?
So what hasn't been working, because it's quick. Facebook ads, guess what? Instagram. If you are not doing video on Instagram, don't even bother, because you are being deprioritized actively right now because they're in a war with TikTok. So if you think you can actually monetize your Instagram videos and TikTok, like, be my fucking guest. But like, again, I'm not your girl. Evergreen. Evergreen is not working.
Oh, say more about that.
So in the online space in particular, live launching, very popular because it works, because there is instant access, all of that kind of thing. There's a lot of momentum there. The energy feels good. Evergreen suffered greatly during COVID, and I'm starting to see a little bit of a bounce back now. But with Evergreen offers, finding ways to keep it fresh and keeping it top of mind for your people when it's just always there is very, very, very difficult unless you have a very large audience and a lot of brand trust. As far as what is working.
Yep. What's working?
Anything with a live one-to-one component. Like, the more of you that they're getting, the more likely you are to sell that offer. A lot of the people's DIY stuff that is just all pre-recorded, not doing nearly as well as it used to. Email marketing is shifting. Email marketing is definitely shifting. I'm not going to say it's not working, because it is, but you have to be much, much better at it than you used to be. That is like, if you're going to hire a copywriter for something, that's what it should be for, like, not your social media. And that is a huge mistake I see a lot of people making, is just like dumping money into their social media versus their email, where they've been, especially if you've been doing something for a while, like, to have somebody come in and take what you've already established and build on it and make it even better, and to add some launch-like elements, whether or not you're launching. Like, there's a reason that we get dozens of emails a day from large brands, because it works. Like, eventually they're going to get you with one of them. So
what do you suggest is working these days about getting people to sign up for your email list? That was a question out of left field. I know. I'm going to give you a moment to figure it.
I would say, hey, you're like, beginner ass lead magnets ain't cutting it anymore.
Yep.
What is definitely still working, and maybe working better than I've ever seen it working, are quizzes. So the quizzes have to be really, really well defined and really well done. You probably need help doing it. Like, there are very few people I've seen who have been able to create all of the pieces of it and put it together in a way that actually can convert people. So, like, it's got to have a brilliant title. It's got to have questions that sort them into buckets that are your ideal clients. And, if one of those options is not your ideal clients, even better, because you're going to save you both so much time. So, I mean, like, I would say that, like, quizzes are definitely, like, that's pretty good right now. For retail brands, e-com brands, Pinterest ads are gold. Pinterest ads are definitely working. They work a little bit in the online service space as well, but you have to be very creative. Again, this is a place where, like, the visuals have to be stunning. You probably should be using video. You can do some amazing stuff on your own in Canva too. Like, they have canned videos now. Like, you can have some real fun there.
You can do video on Pinterest?
Yep.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, no, Pinterest, just like everything else, is prioritizing video.
Fascinating. That's really fascinating. Okay, so thank you for answering that question. I have a quiz, which I have a quiz that was working really well and now needs some help. So we're working on that too. Okay, so how do people know they should get help with marketing strategist? And then tell us how people can find you.
Totally. So with working with a marketing strategist, I mean, I would say like you really don't need to be actively working with somebody until you're multiple six figures. Like realistically, like it's not worth your time or money to sink a bunch of effort into that until you have enough data for somebody like me to go like rifle through so that I can start to find trends, patterns, all of the interesting stuff so that I can help you create the kinds of experiments that are going to help your business like long term. As for working with me, you can find me at thereinventionco.com or thereinvention.co. There we go. That's where I hang out. I offer intensives and longer term containers to support people. We create a marketing plan for your next 90 days in a day, and it's pretty sexy.
She's pretty sexy all around, don't you think? And I'm going to have a baby soon. So if you want to work with her, you better get in. Because
it's true. It's kind of now or never, guys. I'm filling my 6 month spaces now, and I've got 3 month spaces coming up in September, but I'm out in December for
maternity leave. So here's the thing, right? Maternity leave as a business owner, like real planning for a maternity leave, taking a maternity leave and coming back and not having your business be in shambles when you come back. Like that is when people say they're trying to get to freedom by being a business owner, that is freedom. And you know, I know Dusty's doing that, and I've helped clients do that because it can seem overwhelming, but being able to go on maternity leave and feel at peace with what's happening in your business is an amazing experience.
Yeah, so, absolutely. And I don't think you need a full team to be able to do it either. I'm going to be doing it with very, very part-time help. I'll be swapping that out for like nanny help, actually. I was like, I need less of an OBM and I need more of like an in-person, like, you know, keep my sanity together here. But yeah, there's the great thing about, and it's funny you say that too, because like last year I helped prep so many women who were getting ready for maternity leave, who didn't want their businesses to be like fizzled up when they came back and feel like they're starting from ground zero. You don't have to feel like you're starting from ground zero. Like everything I did to like, I recently restructured my business from like a marketing agency to, you know, just doing consulting and training. And it's been so interesting because I wasn't considering at the time that I was really setting myself up for maternity leave in a spectacular fashion, but I was like, and I mean, by the time that I leave for maternity leave, all of my social media for the next year will already be pre-scheduled. It's already in progress. We already have like our launch schedule for next year, and it's all automated, and it's not going to require me showing up. Like, because I don't expect to have a brain. I've done this before. I have 2 kids. I know I'm going to be dumb. Like, that's just how it goes. I'm going to be very, very tired. And helping other women do that is definitely like, it's something I enjoy. And I definitely feel very, very grateful to be in a place where I can do that now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Lisa, who just commented that it was magical for her to be able to do that. Yeah, it's such a relief too, right? To not have that sitting over your head. Okay, so as usual, I adore talking to you. Always. I could talk to you forever. I am lucky enough to have my cousins in town who I haven't seen in like over 5 years. And so I'm going to say goodbye so I can go do some more cuddling and talking. I love you. I will see you soon, always. And I love you guys. Have a good weekend. And I'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye.